Add some thunder to your game with the Babolat Pure Strike 103. The third generation of the Pure Strike family gets a new addition late in the game. The Pure Strike 103 is sure to turn heads with its unique playability. Thanks to its 103 square inch head size, this racket is forgiving and comfortable, yet it still possesses the outstanding control we've come to expect from the Pure Strike family. In addition to giving you the benefit of Babolat's C2 Pure Field Dampening technology, the Pure Strike 103 delivers raw speed from all areas of the court.
I have play-tested models in all three generations of the Pure Strike family, and I took a peek at the specs of this 103 before I headed down for my first hit. And I have to say, I was really surprised after a couple minutes of hitting with this frame. The first thing I noticed was how low-powered and how controlled this racket is for being a 103 square inch head size. I also found it to be really easy to swing. It was really easy to maneuver around my body and generate racket head speed, and I could maintain this throughout an entire match or practice session. I also found that the sweet spot was pretty large and forgiving, especially compared to other members of the Pure Strike family. Now, I really enjoyed practicing with this racket, rallying, especially doing cross courts. I could get into a really good groove, but where I got into some trouble was playing points, and the two things that I noticed were some instability and a lack of mass behind the racket. And instability I could feel when I was trying to hit against players that were hitting a bigger ball and the racket was twisting in my hands, whether I was up in net hitting a volley or returning a serve. And there was times when I was trying to put the ball away that I didn't feel like I had enough oomph behind my ball. And I think both of these are due, and as I expected, due to the specs of being a lower weight and swing weight. Overall, players that are looking for a speedy racket that still has a low-powered response should definitely check this out.
Usually with oversized or close to oversized rackets, you expect a more powerful, more muted, more comfortable type of response. But with the Pure Strike 103, I actually found this to be more control-oriented than powerful, and it had a nice responsive feel to it. It was super easy to swing. I think that's the key standout feature of this racket. Very whippy, very easy to generate spin with this one. And I was also surprised at how much control I was able to get with this racket, like Brittany mentioned. The feel and the response was what I would expect from a racket in the Pure Strike family, so I felt well connected to my shots there. But really my biggest downside with this racket is just the overall lack of weight. This racket feels like it can get bullied, get pushed around against bigger hitters, especially up at net. And during point play, even when I have a neutral ball where I felt like I could attack, I was a little bit underwhelmed at the pace I was getting with this racket. So overall, I think this is a great option for like an advanced junior looking to move into an adult frame, or just someone looking for a really easy racket to swing with great control.
When I first stepped onto court with this racket, I was really surprised with the amount of control I was getting. Like the others had mentioned, I was expecting a little bit more power coming from a 103 square inch head size, but I was pleasantly surprised that I was not having any issues with depth control. And I actually think that I would have preferred this racket with a livelier string setup to help me get a little bit more zip on my ground strokes. I did really find it to be a comfortable hit as well as a generous sweet spot, and it was easy to ramp up the spin with this one. And it is a little bit lighter than I typically play with, but a lot of times I was able to just use some racket head speed to counteract some of the stability issues that I was noticing. One area that I really was missing a bit of weight from the racket was my serve. I did appreciate that it was easy to swing overhead, but I really needed to utilize a faster head speed to generate the power I was looking for on my serve. A lot of them were just sitting up. Overall, I really found this to be an easy racket to use. It's very comfortable, a generous hitting, sweet spot, and very good control. However, for me, although I do prefer both the Pure Strike 100 and the 98-16-19, I do think this is a great option for a junior looking for control and they're transitioning into an adult racket.
I always try and begin these play tests with the thought that this may be the racket, the gem that I've been waiting for. Obviously, play with a lot of rackets. When I see a swing weight number down under 310, around 303, I kind of think that the racket's going to be a little unstable. I really have to say this racket dotted more I's and crossed more T's than I would give it credit for. It really thinks outside the box. It's 285 gram frame. Typically, I don't advise going with a low-powered string setup until the frame's a little heavier than that, but this really worked out great for me in my game. Like everyone else mentioned, it's a really good rally stick. It's very maneuverable, accelerating the tip, getting spin, very easy. The only thing that really tapered off, if ball pace and spin really increased, it is a little unstable. I am really surprised that they are able to eke this much stability out of a frame that's 285 with a 303 swing weight. So a hugely impressive frame from any part of the court. It is a little light. I've got some friends that look at this frame and think, hey, this is a great platform racket. I could build onto this. So as everyone else mentioned, this is a great transitioning racket probably for a junior or anyone else that just wants, kind of that balance of a maneuverability-based racket and a stability-based racket. Just overall a great play test, surprise to me for sure.
We strung up the Babolat Pure Strike 103 with Babolat RPM blasts at around 52 to 53 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please check us out at Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.